Well, hello there, Tilly. Good evening. Yes, you're a lovely girl. There's Keith over there. We're just out for a very quick, very short evening ride. Stop now. Just want to test out some stuff. I put Tilly, har du av til Mekon? Yeah, sure, she said. Yeah, well, actually, I think I'll just tell you about it as we go along, shall I? But first of all, I just need to check, make sure we've got clearance lights and stuff like that. Tail light, clearance light, right, headlight, obviously. It's ridiculously hot. It's at 42 or 3 or something today. It's going to be the same tomorrow, possibly warmer. It was the same yesterday, the day before, etc., etc. Apparently we're getting a cool change where it'll go down to high 30s on Sunday or something like that. You know, my idea of a cool change is 20s. Yeah, so right then. Oh, it's cold, isn't it? The motor's cold. No, you doggy dog. Settle down now, just relax a bit. No, I said, no, I can't. So just going up the back road and stuff like that. Won't be long, Keith. I have to let it get a bit darker so I can see what the headlight's doing. I still haven't fixed that mirror. So I do a... So, I discovered I had no clearance lights in the sidecar the other day. So, and then I discovered that the main battery lead, the power lead from the car battery in there to the bike, was hanging on literally by a couple of copper threads, you know. So I thought, alright, we better do something about all this. So reconnected all that stuff up, you know, redid the wiring a bit, and got everything going again, except for the left rear blinker. Well, there's about 9 wires going nowhere, so I need to go back and revisit that. Still ridiculously hot. Got to keep an eye out for furry grasshoppers, I suppose. Yeah, summer in Australia, eh? Haven't seen the skippies for a couple of days, so I'm guessing they've gone somewhere cooler and where there's more water. That might be just over the back there somewhere, or over that way. Yeah. Okay, so I actually took the bike for a ride last night, and doing this pretty much the same thing, and I had the headlight facing too high, but now it looks like it might be a little bit too low, and it's starting to sound like Goldilocks, if we had any locks at all. And so what I've done is I've put in a new headlight globe. It's an H4, but it's one of those white light ones. I just want to see if there's much difference. The one that was in it was just, you know, whatever came with that cafe racer headlight and a cell, you know, so it wouldn't have been much chop. It never gets ridden at night, this bike, because of all the skippies and stuff. But that doesn't mean it shouldn't be capable of doing so when I start riding it longer trips. You know, I might get home late, etc., etc. So, new headlight bulb. You know, it's just a simple thing. I can fiddle around till I find the right one. And it took a while with the Triumph because it had the twin smaller headlights, only about 4 or 5 inches, about 5 inches I think they were. And it took a while. I ended up getting these Euro spec bulbs, which worked really well. They were so much better than the originals and other ones I tried, you know, and they were better than 100 watters, you know. Yeah, I reckon we might have to go up, but we'll see. I've left the headlight just slightly loose so I can sort of manhandle it up and down a bit. Anyway, so yeah, I want it. You know, I want this bike to be able to do long trips for my gentleman's tourer. There's a ride I want to do at the end of March down to Tatra and back, which could be one of those rides. You know, it's about 600 k's each way. I'm not sure I can actually go yet. A lot of that will depend on the how long it's going to take, as in I can really only be away for 2 nights maximum because of Keith. Now, a while ago, I don't know whether you remember this or not, but I took this the old headlight, sorry, the old instrument. You've got to get to a certain speed with some leading link front ends. Yeah, we might just have to lift it up slightly. Sorry, the old instrument panel on this bike, you could see it just left sitting outside. One of the major indications of that was all the first specs and stuff in the screen was crazed and cracked. So I decided to put the instrument pod off the 84 model RT onto this bike. And get off the road, Birdo. And this one has actually got LED instrument lights in there, which when I took some before and after photos originally, so I'm just going very slow because it's dusk, you know, it's kind of silly. Silly to be riding at this time of day, really. But I got stuff to do when I get home, so thought I'd do this quickly and then go home and do some other things. Anyway, I'm really disappointed with these. You know, they looked brighter than the original ones, but you can't see half the dials, you know. I think the indicator's saying 4th gear, you only just see it. You know, you can't see what's going on down there or down there. It looks like it needs, you know, two more bulbs in there, which is very disappointing because I was hoping for a big improvement. So I don't know, I might have to swap the bulbs back over. It's pretty annoying actually. Maybe I'll check them first. I'm just gonna do something with this headlight, just try and lift it slightly. Hör doch auf, Kleine, hör doch auf. No, come, just relax, darling. Remain quite calm at all times. We went to Parks today to do the fortnightly shopping. Now that was entertaining because this weekend, or this week, or whatever it is the Parks Elvis Festival. So there are all these people, you know, getting around in jumpsuits and, and stuff like that. And Elvis music being played everywhere. It's kind of unfortunate because I don't like Elvis, you know. I don't hate him or anything, but it's just not my kind of music, you know. I'd rather be listening to Led Zeppelin or whatever. This is very cute, isn't it? And Chrissy lights are still up. Mine are still up too. I'll take them off shortly, I guess. You know, we'll just do this headlight and try and just move it a small increment. Yes, it's like, you know, entire train loads of people. There's like an Elvis Express or something that comes from Sydney Central every year, and you know, people come out and spend the weekend here or whatever, which I think is madness. That might be a bit better. We'll see. There's James and Elisa's place there. Tilly, you're a dog, and don't you forget it. It's kind of, it must have dropped below 40 because it feels almost like a nice evening, sort of a warm evening ride, which is kind of nice. Though it always feels a bit naked riding around with shorts and a t-shirt sort of thing. I mean, even, you know, like essentially riding riding a sidecar, there's kind of not a much less chance that I'm just going to fall off. You know, I ride it conservatively anyway. I mean, you still got the other idiots, of course, on the road. Still not dark enough, is it? That might be better, but it's not great, is it? So still have the option of driving lights, of course. So yeah, all these people come out to parks, and there's lots of people getting around in those, you know, horrendous jumpsuit things, you know, with sequins and whatever, and they're all old men with sagging bellies and old women with hot pants on and stuff like that. But you know, good luck to them, each to their own. It's just a bit frightening. Yeah, and if you're into it, and obviously, you know, if you look at some of these people, I mean, really, they are in their 70s and whatnot. They might have been doing this since their 20s, you know. So, yeah, you know, why not? I mean, it's like, you know, should we put an age limit on how old we have to be to ride a bike? You know, it's like, when we're no longer young and pretty, we shouldn't be able to ride anymore. I mean, that's stupid, isn't it? There'd be no one left now. Look out, Bunny. It's a bloody jackrabbit, that fella. I'll put the headlights down as, you know, adequate. I've got a couple of there's old sort of square, not rectangular headlights that my mate Mark gave me years ago. and I suppose I could shove them on or see what I can find, you know. I'm getting a wet left leg because there's a particular dog, that dog there, who's barking and spraying me. Ooh. Should do that anyway, shouldn't he? So we've got a front left blinker, and you can see that the rate of blink means that the left rear one's not working. So we better fix that, eh? Otherwise it'll all be a bit embarrassing. It's a silly thing about these like the Harley's kind of silly. Like the Triumph, I'm talking about blinkers now, sorry. The Triumph used to have a one switch. Somebody's been out here. Is that old cunt? That old cunt, big fucking Goodworth. Anyway, now the Triumph had a switch here, left, right, like you'd find on a 70s Yamaha or whatever, and it works, you know. The Harley's got one switch here, one switch here, and you have to cancel them yourself. This one's got one switch here, one switch here, and another switch under there to cancel both sides. Yeah, that's not bad, you know. I wouldn't want to be riding the thing. You know, I used to do a fair few late night, well, not late night, but evening rides on my way back from Coffs Harbour when I was living in Gyra. You know, there's a couple of them on the, that's my place over there. There's a couple of them on the YouTube page, you know, sort of winter rides from Ebor across to Gyra. It's about, I don't know, about 80 k's, and it's cold, you know. Once or twice I've done it in the snow. They usually, when I do that, I don't have my camera with me or something. and the lights on the Triumph was really important to get them performing well, you know, so it's unlikely I'll be doing those kind of rides again, but you should always be prepared. You just never know. It's like having these Oxford heater grips. They're there, they should work, and I'm just now wondering whether I should just lift this up one notch more. Riding with shorts on this bike, you can feel a fair bit of heat from the motor, which is interesting. Don't really notice it with jeans. Mind you, I don't normally ride around this slowly either, so let's have a look. Yeah, one tiny bit more. It's windy, it's a hot warm wind. Sag mal, bist du verrückt geworden oder was? No? We can't see you now, can we? It's getting dark, chilly. Yeah, so this ride down to Tata, it's one of the BM things, you know, the Southern Ride we call it, or Bill calls it. There's a bloke who's from Goulburn, my town of birth, and he puts it on every year, and it goes to different places, and this year it's Tatra, which is a fair way. It's about 600 k's each way, and I've got the issue of sorry, I just don't know whether I've gone too far now. She quite often distracts me. It's a really piercing bark. That might be a bit too far. It's going to be the world's most boring slow TV video ever. Tilly, hör doch auf, Kleiner. It's a really piercing bark, and it can drive you a bit nuts at times. Yeah, I think I might have gone too far. We'll go for another lap around the block, see what happens. Will you stop salivating on my leg? What a rap beat. I had a girlfriend like that once. Yeah, too far. Hey, in there. Gone too far. Too hot to work on. Anyway, so going back to the Tathra ride, the problem I'm going to have is taking her accommodation. Like there's a great pub at Tathra. I took my German girl Annetta there, Astrid there one time, and we saw the Divinals live and whatnot, and it's a great little place. It's on the coast, on the beach, south coast, you know. Most recently famous, I think, for big bushfires that went in, and people literally ended up on the beach and in the water, sort of thing, to save themselves. I suppose I should do what normal people do and just park it in front of a shed wall and adjust it that way, but that's what they'd be expecting us to do. Yeah, so it's like, you know, the accommodation's a fair way from the pub. It's a longish walk. I've got the dog, and then there's a courtesy bus, and it's a matter of, like, you know, can I get look at that dust, red dust. Can I get Tilly in the pub? Will they take her in the courtesy bus, etc., etc.? I was out here in the bush, sort of thing. They'd be fine 90% of the time. There's my Christmas lights still going. I thought I'd better have a go this year because I haven't done anything for a couple of years, you know. Haven't done anything for a couple of years, and I thought I'd better go up my arse, you know. So I found a box with some stuff and got these out and put them up, and, you know, it just makes you feel like you're a little bit more civilised than you really are, or something. I love the way I look at her and she looks away like, you know, she's going to get in big trouble. And she never does. But what did my brother Tim used to say? Something like, dogs, nothing understands the concept of implied violence better than a dog. Something like that. You just raise a hand and they carry on like, you know, you've done nothing but bash them all their life, you know. It's gets pretty warm, this headlight. Now stop. Stop! So I've got to concentrate a bit. And she just distracts. As I said, that might, I think we're sort of back to where we were. Naja, machen wir noch mal so eine Runde, dann gehen wir nach Hause, ja? We'll take another lap around the block, then come back, and then I do think it'll be beer o'clock, which will be nice. Yeah, disappointed in these lights. Oh, yeah, it's fixable. The instrument lights, I mean. These will be fine. Yeah, that's probably about it, isn't it? Better behave ourselves, seeing there's an entire mob of kangaroos live in the neighbourhood. Though I said I haven't seen them for a couple of days. Yeah, that's about it, isn't it? That's as good as we'll get, and that's alright, you know. Zu Not, as the Jerrys would say. Tilly's probably saying, why are we going round and round in ever decreasing circles? We'll end up disappearing up our own backsides. Low beam, you know, you can't see past your nose, can you? You wouldn't want to be trying to ride these long straights here at night, and you can get caught, you know, like as in riding these big long, you know, 5-10 kilometre straights at night, and there's a car right up the other end, so you get stuck on low beam the whole way. I mean, that feels like it should be low beam. Anyway, that's the story. Too hot to work in the shed, so nothing has happened to the old girl. I don't want to pull her out of the shed and start pulling the motor apart. No, that's a stupid idea. So she'll get worked on again when the weather cools off a bit. I don't know, it might not be till March. That's the trouble with here. Yeah. But I'm really missing riding her, you know, so I mean, I could just take it for a ride, but it'll just piss oil out everywhere. It seems a bit counterproductive. But who knows? If I have to go on too much longer, I might just do that and see what happens.